All right, we are live. Welcome to Black Angus's Precinct Subcommittee. The committee's now in session. Got a great show planned for you. Plan to come in your ear pussies for this next 2 hours. So with me today, got some great guests. Got Immortal Coil is in the house in the chat. Thank you, Immortal, for coming. First off, want to let Vinny Art plug his Indiegogo campaign. It's the last day, so let's hear about it, and I'll link it in the chat.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Hail Vinny.
Hey guys. Wait a minute. I should pull up the. Should I do this? Should we do the screen share?
Yeah. Let me Let me click on you. All right. So you're presented to everyone.
I just have to. All right, it's open. Let me go back to Google Hangouts. And share. All right, you guys getting it?
Let me check. Yep, it's showing up.
All right, cool. So yeah, today is the last, pretty much the last full day. We got 33 hours left on Through the Woods. It's a ghost story dealing with a murder, betrayal, and justice looking to be served. It stars Laura Langley as an investigative reporter. She unearths a tragic history on her newly inherited home and cabin in North Hudson, New York. This tale started 100 years earlier when the land was actually a loggers camp in like the 1900s. And she starts to learn about her family's past and some murders and things that happened on that land. Because being a lumberjack camp, I mean, those guys are pretty rough and tough. But yeah, I mean, there's a cool little story that unravels, and you see how she's connected to all of it and what exactly happened. But yeah, the book is only 3 issues. We have, I'll get down to this nice card. The first issue is 32 pages. The next 2 are 28 each. So you have a total of 88 pages of artwork and story. I hand drew everything. I painted it on Photoshop. So it's a cool little tale for you guys. I mean, I hope you really enjoy it. You could get the full collection for $30, all signed. You know, I have the other perks as well, but I mean, that's the starting one. Most people have been jumping on that one. But yeah, so let's go down a little bit. You can see the cover.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I did the 3 issues in the print.
I saw that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I like the art, and I love the Woody on the poster.
Thanks,
so yeah, go check it out. I updated the
yeah, I like the Woody too.
What do you call it? I updated the description, so if you want to go to the Indiegogo now or after the show, it's in there at the top. And also with us, first time on the Precinct, we got Panboy Soy Child. I hope I'm saying your full name correctly.
Oh, you don't have to say the full name. Just call me Pan or Panboy or Poe.
Okay. Okay, we got Pan for the war campaign. We had a great time when I was on there. I garnered the name Ghost Doggy.
Legendary now.
You know, that's in the live playlist. So go check that out if you want to find out why I'm Ghost Doggy. But we got Pan here. I think War Campaign's awesome. Love hanging out with them. But also, they're about to debut an Indiegogo campaign. So let's hear about it, Pan.
We are. Yeah, I first want to say, Vinny, that your book looks awesome. I actually come from a family of loggers, so I like what you're doing.
That's really awesome, cool,
man. Unique topic for a comic book. So I wish you the best of luck with that. And yeah, me and my buddies were releasing a comic called Vestige tomorrow. Gat Hanzo, original member of the War Campaign with me, is the writer. We have the fantastic artist Donald DeLay, who's done Brutus in Comicsgate. He's the main artist, and we have Caesar, Ethan Van Sciver, doing the cover. So we're excited to launch that tomorrow. We're going to be doing an all-day stream on War Campaign. So if you want to come hang out and party, we'll be celebrating 420 tomorrow.
Nice.
And thank you, Black Angus Reviews, for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. I love doing these. I love getting new people on when I can. And like I've told you, it's kind of just this is kind of my utter chaos, but it's like a structured chaos in the sense of, hey, every Friday. But yeah, we got Fatal J with us. He's a second time appearance, making a second time appearance on the show. Glad to have him back. What's up, Fatal? Tell us about your channel and how you're feeling today.
Yeah, this is Fatal J, aka Eric Butts, and
Wow.
I'm just glad to be back, man. Every time I come on the show, man, it's just so awesome. Every time I see it.
Was that too much?
Eric Butts. Wow.
That was
guy,
good.
I memed the shit out of Eric Butts. Oh, can I cuss? Sorry.
Yeah. This is full of cussing.
I won't say the F word.
Good.
Probably just the shit a whole bunch. But yeah, Eric Butts. God bless the guy. He became a meme.
Well, it's worth it if you get that what do you call it? All that attraction to your channel. I think you got like 10,000 subs from this reaction.
Hail.
Crap, sorry. And we got Drunk 3PO. I don't know if he's unmuted or not. He dropped out. So he's dealing with the hurricane currently from what he told us. So he may come back, and we also might have Lethal Lightning and his buddy Troy come in. Let me say hi to some more people in the chat, and I'll tweet this out. Sorry, my thing is going slow. Look at my phone. So we got Dewan Gray, hail. Meowcat, of course. Fatal J, of course, is in the chat with us, and we got this new sub, Captain Fuckhead. He is from the I found out from Drunk People. I'm like, we need you in the chat, so I'm so glad he's here. Love the name. And then Starwoke Inc. Nico, great to have you all. Thanks for joining. So first off, I'm actually going to let me see. Let me take Vinny down. Let me present myself, and I'll start screen sharing because I want to show y'all what I did last night. If you're not aware, so let me get the screen share up. Boom, share. All right. So I'll play this for y'all. This is one of their ads. So let me full screen it. So I went to this show. I don't know how I found it, and sorry for my computer being slow, but I found this show somehow through YouTube, and then I realized they had a Twitter, so then I started following, and it's like, holy crap, they're on tour. This is a Star Wars original trilogy burlesque, and wow, it was a great show. And even the guy that's like I don't know, so I've never been to a burlesque show, so it's like I don't know what you call the guy that's like the in-betweener for all the different like bits of the show when like the curtain comes down and they're resetting. But he was great. He was entertaining at first. The first half, he was an Imperial Guard or an Imperial officer. Second half, he was a Rebel pilot, and it had a great. Like I thought the show would go like sequentially through the series of like key moments, but it didn't. There's a little bit of variation. The show starts with the Tauntaun, but then like there's random scenes of like Leia with R2, and then Luke scrubbing down the. What do you call it? Scrubbing down the speeder with the short-haired chick right there. I'm trying to think some great. So there's a great soundtrack, of course. All these. The Jabba scene was great.
Hey.
Boba Fett was awesome. Whole show was great. And this is where I get some of the footage for my sexy variant intro.
My legs.
Love it.
Yeah. It was worth it. And if you're in here it is. Emperor. Okay, so when the Emperor came out, I didn't know if it was going to be like a chick or what was going on with the Emperor. But there was a great scene. There's a great part where he's showing his shoulders. And he's kind of teasing the crowd, and then all of a sudden he like shows his belly button. He's like rubbing himself, and all of a sudden you hear a voice like, "Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me so hard."
Oh my God.
It was so damn good. It was entertaining, and he has the Emperor strips, and he's got like a what's that movie? Bad Grandpa Dick and Balls, and he's like turning around and like his balls are like hanging out, and he's like showing his ass, and then like this Imperial soldier comes out, has like a disco ball, and then the Emperor gets on it and he's like wrecking ball, and it's just ridiculous. The guy that plays Han Solo, he's the one person that isn't gender swapped. Him and Chewie are dudes, and they didn't get too strippy
Thank
with
God.
the guys, but it was so fun. Like those guys are cool. When he was when he was thawed from the kryptonite, he what do you call it?
Was he better than all the
Yeah, it's cool. And they're all these people are from Australia. So I think it's like their second or third time in America
okay.
with the show. But yeah, it's really great.
Well, they're the best people.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you all the let me turn on my camera and I'll show you the posters I got.
I'm still drooling from the chick that played Leia. Dang.
Oh yeah.
Dude, they're
I like
hot.
the little blonde girl that plays Luke Skywalker on the speeder.
I
All right,
saw that.
All right, so wait, let me present really quick. All right, so this is the main poster with like the main art. I got everyone to sign it, all the
that's dope.
dancers
Nice.
and Han Solo.
That's rocking.
Yeah, and like every bit of the show was great. Like even the Imperial Red Guard, like everything. The only thing that was disappointing was Boba Fett didn't have flamethrowers, but I think it's because we were in the Masonic Auditorium in Cleveland, and it was too. I think it was just too small a venue to have the flamethrovers ready. But she did have a gun and shoot T-shirts at us. And then here's like the main Twi'lek. And if you go up, you see a little bit of Heine, but it's not the full Heine. So it's just, it kind of tells you what burlesque is all about. It's not like a strip show exactly. Yeah, it's tasteful. You're always wanting a little bit more, but you will be satisfied with what you do get.
Best poster ever, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got Real Captain Jack. Hey, you just missed. I was showing off the Empire Strips Back, the burlesque I went to. If you didn't catch that,
I did not.
But yeah, it was a great ass show. It's actually in I think Detroit or somewhere in Michigan right now.
Nice.
So if you want to drop out of the chat and go quick, let me think. It doors open at 7, and then the show started at 8. So you got an hour or so from now, or maybe 2 since you're Central Time. So yeah, go check that out. See if it's coming to your area before they leave America. But yeah, great old time. I really suggest it. It was just a fun time, especially given the state we're in with Star Wars and being in the Phantom Menace. There was like nothing. There's no animosity. I was talking to some comic shop owner in the line. He seems to be cool with everything Marvel and comics and stuff. He thinks it's a great time in comics. He's probably an SJW, but it was just a happy time. We're talking about Star Wars a bit, and like no one seemed. There was no like. Regardless of how you felt the prequels or the sequel trilogy today, it was fun. It's like, this is what you can make, as a parody, as a joke when you really love something, and you're a pervert to some degree.
I can't imagine the SJWs loving busty stormtroopers. I think that they would find that highly offensive.
I think naked women brings everyone together.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, it's funny. Like Greedo is in the show a little bit, and they like even though they kind of blend a few scenes. So like when they unthaw Han, they actually have a part where like Greedo comes out and shoots, but then he gets shot. But then they end up dancing. They're dancing to like Smooth Criminal and shit. And there's just like they played a Massive Attack Angel for the girl I was playing a green lightsaber Jedi. She was just kind of in this trance. The Twi'leks. There's no story or anything to the Twi'leks. It's just Twi'leks dancing with each other like they're twins or something. Yeah, it's non-sequential as far as some of the scenes, but yeah, like after the intermission, it came out and it was like Boba Fett. And it was just Boba Fett was like, this is fucking rocking. This is awesome, And
Black Angus, you lucky, man, because my wife would have never let me to that show.
Well, my wife's actually supposed to go. We couldn't find a babysitter, but it's like the way the insurance works on tickets. It's like you don't know if you can actually win your claim. And so it's like, well, I'm not risking losing both ticket money, It's like I can go at least, So I've been waiting for this for months. I'm the one that found it, I thought about going by myself initially because I'm like, oh, if she wants to go to this, and then I showed her, she's like, oh, it looks awesome. So it's disappointing going, solo to this, where it's like really great if you're joining this as a couple, but yeah, it was fun. It was a fun time. The only thing that sucked was the drinks. Like I got a double shot of Jameson straight on the rocks, and it was $15. it's like, I
Wow.
forgot my
Yeah.
goddamn
Jesus.
flask of rye. I always bring, like, when I go to the theater, I always bring a flask of 6 ounces of rye and I pour it in my root beer.
Smart man.
Mhm.
Good way to do it.
But yeah. So, let's see, what should we talk about first as far as like good topics with the media going on? We got Avengers coming out next week. I know there's stuff I've missed that's going on with Avengers, more little snippets of trailers. Got episode 9 building. There's already leaks about what the plot is from Doomcock and EVS covering it. Got Eric's Butts reaction. We got Game of Thrones. A lot of good stuff going on. And Captain Marvel making an ass for herself repeatedly. So where should we go first?
Yeah, that stuff is pretty hilarious.
I like making fun of Captain Marvel.
But you know what,
Yeah,
Chris
that's a good place.
Hemsworth, he had such a good reply for her with the Wonder Woman comment.
Oh my God, yeah, I love
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
That was
Do
smooth,
you guys think
man.
that she was? Do you think she was really upset? I kind of feel like they're playing like a game, like on us, like her and
Yeah.
Chris are in it together, kind of trolling us,
Yeah, they trolling us, man. They definitely trolling.
I thought that at first, but her reaction seems more genuine, and he really doesn't care, and no eye contact.
Oh,
They
wow.
good actors,
So-
though, man.
Good observations.
Well, she's
Yeah,
not.
you're right.
That was pure brie, soft cheese.
Yeah, hate to ruin it for you, but she's gonna kick everyone's ass in the new Avengers.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Is that true, man? Is that in the leak? I've been trying to avoid the leak for the longest.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
haven't
working.
actually kept up with anything. The leaks I was talking about was with episode 9. Supposed leaks thus far, but it's like, wow, if that's gonna happen, then like, I don't know. I got my opinions that are kind of not traditional Fandom Menace opinions as of late with Star Wars. But no, in game, I'm really excited. I actually, I'll turn on my camera again really quick. I actually stopped at the theater and I found these recently, and it was disappointing because like I'm a big fan, Phantom Menace fan. That's how I got into Star Wars, and I'm like, oh my god, Thanos topper, yippee! And I'm like, do, see a movie, and then I just happen to like get a sip, and it's like, what the fuck is that? And it's Captain Marvel on the cup, right by Captain America and Iron Man. I'm
It's
like,
Bree.
There she
ugh.
is.
And so then I had to like balance it out and just completely Thanos snap her from my mind.
Yes.
There you
have
go.
to.
Get a piece of black masking tape.
Yeah. I thought about that. See, my wife also got me these at Dollar Tree. She got me a set of what do you call it? Captain Marvel sticker set. And so I've been thinking about how I should make a video to trigger the SJWs by desecrating it.
Oh,
And so I thought about like, maybe I'll make a sandwich from like, a woman's place is in the kitchen. Then like I'll like put her in the sandwich and eat her, because I'm a man baby. Be a funny
Spicy.
triggering man. Yeah. Because
Make sure you add Rose Tico.
well, yeah, they cry about EVS cutting Rose Tico's head off and stuff. Like it's like
Yeah.
really homicide. Which
yeah.
I love when Caesar's like doing shenanigans like that. It's like
Oh my
when you
God.
cry about him like he's a murderer because he, and it's funny too because I never thought of this, but he flips it on him. It's like these liberals cry about these toys I'm desecrating, but it's like it's just a clump of cells,
Yeah.
He uses the abortion argument on them.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Caesar, he's the most clever. Like that's why we hail him. He's a warrior. He does it with class and humor. He stands up for what he believes in and whips the crap out of SJWs every day.
He's
Hail
elegant.
Caesar.
He's elegant, eloquent, yet most humble.
Exactly. Hail. Hail
Hey,
Caesar.
Pam, I don't know if you ever saw my Saint Germanus video. It's my parody of Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. I kind of wasn't, it's weird. I was going to do a video about Adam Driver being a Marine and how he's not of like the ilk of Hollywood. He's just playing a role.
Right.
And then I got inspired for some reason with Jeremy, and I almost didn't complete it. I called my buddy, flipped out from the fan collective. I'm like, hey, I'm afraid of like a big Christian backlash if I make this parody because it's like very religious, And
Yeah.
it's kind of my paranoia because where I grew up with my mom, her being overly religious, and not being aware of a lot of people like Monty Python and stuff in our fandom.
Right.
And so I was really worried about sacrilege attacks, and I told him, I was like, this sounds amazing, but I have one planned for Caesar for a while. I just haven't completed it and recorded it and stuff. So I need to do a little bit more investigating on his content to make but it's going to be in the same vein. It's just he's not a saint, but it is a religious kind of gag. So
I like it.
Yeah.
Like it.
And something else to look for, you people, if you aren't aware. I've been waiting to do this for a while, casting the Fandom Menace in Game of Thrones. And my biggest problem was figuring out how to write my intro to explain what I'm doing and how do I present it, because I'm not going to make an hour-long video and get like 5 minutes watch time average, And so it's like, how do I get the most out of this for my work? And so I figured out tiering it off of the High Council. So I got 5 episodes. First one's going to be Caesar and compatriots related to him. I'll give you a little spoiler. Drunk 3PO is going to be in this first episode. So
Hail Drunk 3PO.
Look forward to who I cast who as if you love Game of Thrones. Pretty clever. It goes episode 1, EVS, episode 2, Bullshitters, episode 3, Geeks and Gamers, episode 4, Wild Cards, episode 5, Enemies of the Phantom Menace. But yeah, there's a few enemies sprinkled in because they're so much intertwined with certain channels. So, but it's gonna be really fun. So,
are you gonna add Comic Artist Pro too?
Oh yeah. EVS is Comic Artist Pro Secret. So
number 1.
Oh,
baby.
okay.
Yeah, that's who we're talking about when we're talking about Caesar.
So do other channels on YouTube, do they, SJWs or whatnot, did they mess with you or call you out or screw with the Fandom Collective? Or
Not really. Drunk 3PO, because of like his the way he makes videos, he's pretty quick as opposed to me. I like to make like usually well in depth videos that take time to make. So I just don't have the angle like Drunk does. So he puts out stuff like he can put stuff out every day if there's a good topic, and he's just got this natural kind of charm and comedy to him. And so it's but he's still a fan of Minister, and so like he covered the Raylo stuff. He gets attacked. He got attacked. So I don't know if I told you this, but I made he did a video where it's like, "Am I going to boycott Captain Marvel?" And he's like, "No." He's like, I'm not boycotting. I'm just not seeing it. He's like, I'm broke. He's like, if you want me to see this movie, pay me $50 on PayPal. And so what I did was I took that and I made I made a call to the family. It's like, hey, let's fund Drunk 3PO. And I was like, let's send him on the Captain Marvel challenge. And you're like, well, wait, he's not a girl. How do we get around this? He doesn't identify otherwise. And it's like, well, we're going to make him our bitch, and therefore he can experience the feminist plight. So that was my angle, and I threw together like a video like on Twitter like on a Wednesday before the release of the movie, and the whole incentive was like, hey, fund him and all the excess will go to his charity he works on. And we got a lot of people to show up with maybe less than 12 hours notice, and he got attacked once he saw it and reviewed it. He got attacked of like, you're because he's on our side. And they're like, you're an SJW, you paid money for this, blah, 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 you're a soy boy cuck and yada, yada.
What?
And it's like, he had to explain twice after the first review and why he even saw it. He had to explain twice, try to clarify to people like, I didn't intentionally go see this movie. I was forced to to benefit kids. And people were like, you're a hack. You're saying it's annoying to get asked for Captain Marvel because you're wearing a Captain Marvel shirt and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, I wore it because it was another incentive to get money for kids. So it's like, so yeah, Drunk gets a lot of weirdos that come at him. But overall, the only crap I've ever had is that, I try to be a rational channel. So as much as we criticize Disney and what they do, I try to be like hopeful to some degree or look at, we don't like it, but this makes sense to some degree with like Bray, for instance. I've kind of come to that conclusion. It's like, it took Anakin 3 movies to explain the space Jesus origin. And so it's like, we should take a step back and be rationally critical of Rey. And it's like, they could explain it completely fine with the lore in this 3rd movie. And I get crap at that. People call me a soy boy because I liked the trailer for episode 9. So,
Yeah, but I did too. We talked about that before. I mean, if there's stuff you could like and stuff you could hate, but to attack somebody for their opinion is kind of ridiculous.
It is. It's stupid to give anybody a hard time. That's why like the Eric Butts guy, I feel bad for the dude. It's like, Who cares if he likes it? Who cares if he's crying? You know, he loves the thing. I'm never going to give anybody a hard time for liking.
Is it me or somebody might keep going in and out?
You know, I like a ton of really, really terrible movies. I like Night at the Roxbury. That's a guilty pleasure of mine. It's a terrible, god awful movie, but I like it. You know, so I don't feel it's right to ever give anybody a hard time about stuff like that. If you like what you like, hey, that's you. That's cool. You know, I'm just gonna have my own opinion.
Yeah, people get confused between breaking balls between friends and just like straight out attacks, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I didn't think that. I saw a notification that I saw that Star Wars Theory even did a video about Eric Butts, and he's like, "I don't see the problem with this." You know, it's like this guy's just like really happy about this movie. It's like, you know, like, and he's showing like girls reacting like K-pop and they're just like bawling. He's like, these people look like their family died, and yet no one talks about these weirdos who are like bawling at a boy band, whatever. But then this guy is like, you know, crying at a series that's been so evocative for the spirit.
You know, one of the things I mentioned, I did a video about the guy too. One of the things I mentioned was the fact that, you know, there's this chick on Twitter that, you know, called him, you know, it's undateable, you know, disgusting, undateable guy. Yeah, and I was like, okay, so the Raylo people, so they're so much better, right? They're Star Wars fans, right? And they want to do all the shipping stuff, which is disgusting and weird. I mean, but yet this guy, who's married, by the way, clearly debunks the dateable thing. It's like, okay.
Right away, they want to get personal attacks.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not cool. I mean, I admit I memed to the guy, but I thought it was tasteful. I didn't make fun of him. I mean, it was a unique reaction. It was special. I haven't seen anything like it since I saw episode 8 and cried in the theater because it sucks so much.
Right.
Oh wow! I was just.
But I'm gonna tell you.
No, go on, Fandom. Go on.
But you know, when I first seen it, I just thought the dude was trolling at first. Did anybody think he was trolling?
I just thought he was like just super happy dude, and then everyone's like, oh, you know, he's autistic and you shouldn't make fun of him. It's like, well, if that's true, I'm not going to make fun of him, but I didn't see it like an autistic reaction. I just saw it as a guy that really fucking loved SJW Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it's like, I wish I could like the stuff as much, but hey, you know, whatever. That's how I felt.
I just don't cry. I just don't cry about that kind of stuff. I just don't get that, you know, passionate about
Same
that
here.
stuff,
Right,
you know. I just don't. I mean, I can't remember the last time I, you know, broke into tears out of joy of seeing something. The last time I think was probably when my son was born, and that's a little bit, you know, higher class, I would say. No, the meme thing. I think the meme thing. You know, the Jeremy at the Quartering pointed out. Yeah, meme away. Because, you know, and the guy should embrace it and, you know, just run with it because it does provide meme content. But, you know, calling him out, you know, it's a little bit too harsh, you know. I don't know.
It was kind of like that meme where that dude, he was upset that people was talking about Britney Spears when he said, "Leave Britney alone." Y'all remember that one? It's like in that same realm.
Yeah.
Let me see. So there was something I was going to talk about. So something interesting I saw from Josiah Rises, and I double checked on MovieWeb, just because they seem to have a pretty good tier listing the way they have of news in the media. I'm waiting for this to load, but apparently Thor 4 is in development with director Taika Waititi to return. That's the director who did Thor 3, Thor Ragnarok. How do y'all feel about this if it's true?
I'd be cool with that. I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. So for me, I did a video months ago where I said, this is before Guardians became a thing that's going to continue. And from what we understood at the time, making this as well, Thor was going to leave. Like, all the main Avengers are going to leave, besides maybe Black Widow, at least do her solo movie. And so it's like, well, besides Spider-Man, you have no one iconic, either long-term in just comic history or in this film series to go forward. So to, you know, push Captain Marvel, especially the SJW stuff, doesn't make sense. You need someone to solidify. And it's like Spider-Man's that guy. Marvel needs him more than Sony, who's had critical and financial success with their products without Spider-Man live action. And so it's like, just think how big it'd be if they had Spider-Man. Marvel needs him more. And but yeah, Thor's going to stay. That changes a lot, and that I think helps them. Maybe this is a reaction to like going forward. It's like, oh, okay, we do need someone from this main lineup to stay around going forward. And he makes the most sense. I think he deserves a fourth movie because the first two he's had were lackluster response, to say the least.
Right.
And a lot of people bought into Thor Ragnarok, which I do too. I like it despite a little bit of too much comedy, and I hate Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie.
Yeah, that's how I was. It was too much comedy in it, but I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, it was way stronger than like Dark World, but they hit something different. I think that's why it was really good. But a new story, a new direction. I think it could be really fantastic because people keep forgetting he's a god. He's the most powerful out of the Avengers. So to take him off the board would be silly.
But in the MCU, they never really say he a god though. That's which is strange. Because in the comics, he is a god.
I think it's obvious given the being from Asgard, and they talk about it with the professor repeatedly through because he's like, oh yeah, like this is making sense to science. This is matching up with these legends of the gods, Loki, and this and that. Yeah. So it's kind of hinted at, even if it's not obviously stated, it's clearly like, oh yeah, he knows this stuff from memory from tradition of reading mythology.
Yeah.
Daddy, you did on charge, Jack.
Hello.
Uh-oh.
Did we lose Angus?
We might have.
I think we lost Angus, y'all.
I see his icon up there,
man.
but he's gone. What do we do? Chaos.
Well,
Let
let me
keep
ask.
talking about Marvel.
We're spiraling. I actually didn't see any of the damn Thor movies, so I have no comment whatsoever.
But don't go watch Dark World. It's horrible.
It's not the best.
No, you can skip that one.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even like the first one either.
Yeah, it was okay for what it was at the time.
I like the Thor character, the Chris Hemsworth character, but I haven't seen any of the individual movies, just the Avengers and all that stuff.
You're not missing much, man.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you guys something. Captain America has the best trilogy out of any comic book character besides Chris Nolan Batman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did
I
a
do
good
like
job
the
with
Captain
those.
America. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
And
what
like
do you
the
guys think
Winter
about
Soldier.
say that again?
I like the Winter Soldier, partially because George St. Pierre plays Bartok in there. I think that's the character's name. And George St. Pierre is one of the greatest athletes of our generation, mixed martial artist, and a good dude. So big fan of Winter Soldier.
If I could say my favorite all-time Marvel movie, it would be Winter Soldier 2.
Yeah,
I like Winter
that's good
Soldier.
stuff.
Yeah, that was good.
Absolutely.
Also, Frank Grillo was awesome too in there. He's another guy's a real martial artist.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey guys, I have to boogie. What happened to Black Angus? He just
We don't know. We don't
He
know.
vanished.
Because my boy came in to ask about something I was charging for him, but I actually got to head out. I got to go get a workout in and pick us some food up. But good talking with you guys.
Good talking with you too.
I've seen you around Fatal J, but I ain't seen you other guys. But nice to speak with you. And
Yes.
speaking of man, Black Angus. So
Thanks,
all right,
man.
you guys have a fantastic evening. And
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
You too.
See you later.
Hey,
Angus,
welcome.
what happened, man?
Hey, I
Good
don't
night,
know.
Cap. Yeah, you kicked yourself.
Yeah, it was my internet, so I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm staying calm. And then it's like the internet's working, but then I tried to go through the Hangout on Twitter, and it's like internal server error. So then I just disconnected and reconnected the Wi-Fi. That's never happened to me, but it's like I'm glad I'm very calm. So
Yeah, that's
that way
good.
it was like, because I was watching on my phone. I'm like, well, they're still up, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I thought it was my internet cut out, so I'm like waiting for a reply.
No, that was weird. So sorry about that. Because I was like, I ended, and then y'all just never respond. I'm like, wow, this is weird that no one's responding, and, and then it's like drop.
There was a an awkward moment there when we were trying to figure out what the heck was happening. But
What up, Thomas?
we're past it. Past it.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So Captain Fuckhead, he said Lady Thor is apparently in development.
Oh.
That might be dope, though.
You know what? Well, okay. The main thing, as Fatal J knows, is I'm like, my main concern is that she's hot. Right. That's the first box to check. Doing Lady Thor. Story is of course secondary, and SJW free.
Well,
it's probably like
Let's
a
hope.
2 point, a 2B situation there, where it's like, all right, you got 2A and 2B.
are you familiar with the character in the comics?
Yeah. I when I started trying to get into comics initially, before I got my wife got pregnant, and that ruined any spending money I had. I was interested, and I was like, oh, because my whole draw to comics is the cover art, and it's like I love sexy women on covers and stuff, and so it's like I wasn't aware of SJW stuff. This is way before Comicsgate became like a wide known thing, before anyone knew about Richard Meyer, before EVS came on the scene. So like awareness has only been going on as far as like people doing something about it for I'd say 2 years now. But yeah, looking back, it's like this started about
It was
at
early.
least 5-6 years ago, if not older. But yeah, I actually have the Kotobukiya Lady Thor statue. Like, it's hot, I like these gender swapped statues. That's fine.
Yeah, those are cool.
But yeah, like I don't know. It could be cool having Lady Thor or whatever.
Well, my problem would be if they go with the storyline from the comic, it would be Jane, and we know that's
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, Natalie Portman. So isn't she kind of at odds with them or something?
Yeah, because she kind of vanished from the films.
Yeah, I think. I don't think Natalie. She did Star Wars, and that was a bad experience for her as an actress. And then she gets older, and then she goes into Thor, and that wasn't great. And now it's like they did Infinity War and stuff. They did Captain America: Civil War and Winter Soldier. They did some serious films, emotional and stuff. So it's like she just has not had the good look of the draw. So I think she's just fucking done. And it would be her like she comes back, and then it's like, oh yeah, get some crap director, So I guess it's like I don't like seeing Padme get crapped on repeatedly. So it's like let's just leave her alone.
That's why I was curious. Would they be recasting, or like you said, would they just fix her up with a director that she likes, and give her more leeway on script?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I think Natalie Portman would be good, though. She's a good actress.
She is good.
Yeah, no.
V for Vendetta. She was fantastic in that.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Oh, let me see. I saw somewhere earlier in the chat. Someone's talking about they saw Shazam. Did any of y'all go see that?
Yeah, I actually got to see it a little bit early. I was surprised with it because honestly I thought it was gonna suck because I wasn't that big of a fan of Zachary Levi, but going into it, I had a lot of fun watching that movie.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I haven't seen it yet. Last movie I seen was Captain Marvel.
Oh God, I had my own bad experience recently. So for me, I'm like with DC, especially I just don't like the look of Zach Levi Shazam. I don't care if the character. I'm not really on board DC as like the DCEU. Like they cave to pressure. They didn't just stick to Snyderverse and this vision. And like I don't know, it's like the way they set up. They should just you wanted to shove Justice League out with all the money you blew on it and reshoots. It's like, stay the course, dude. That's how I feel. And I like the dark tone they're doing, but I hear nothing but great things about Shazam. So it's like,
Yeah, it was good. It was fun, and it does it ties in more into that side of the universe. So it's like, unlike some of the other directions that they're going in, where they're trying to completely avoid the Justice League. There's nods to Superman and Batman throughout the movie, and then like the end credits, it's like drawn like a cartoony style, but you see like Shazam is literally messing with all of the Justice League. So yeah, I mean they're letting you know he is in that universe, and the beauty of it is once Black Adam and The Rock are completely on board. Like when his movie gets off the ground, you could see where they're gonna go. It's gonna be bigger and it's gonna be a lot better. But yeah, this movie has heart. You'll enjoy it. I think the Zack Snyder and his universe, what happened that screwed it all up was how dark he was planning to go, and that he wanted to break it up into 3 movies, and the studio was furious after what happened with Batman and Superman. So that's why they tried. Go ahead.
I think that's gonna be interesting when The Rock played Black Adam, because The Rock, he very charismatic and a people person. The audience love The Rock, so when he come on the scene, I'm gonna really be interested in watching that.
I just watched the DC animated one from a few years ago with Shazam and Black Adam and Superman. And I was just thinking of how they present Black Adam in that. I don't know his history at all. But I was thinking it'd be funny to have like The Rock, like his personality from WWE or WWF, where it's like the people's elbow and stuff. That would just be so dumb. But
Bring it back.
Oh my God.
Old school Rock.
It's like The Rock's gonna bring it to your candy bitch ass,
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
That would be hilarious.
You know what? You know what they could do though? At least they could have kind of meta reference Easter egg in the background, like they're fighting, and then like they break through a house, and someone's watching like old VHS tapes of WWF with The Rock. And it's like, did you catch that?
Like it. Yes.
But no, I really don't like where DC's going. Where it's like, they didn't have the success they wanted, and then they've caved, and they've tried, like, because the whole thing was trying to catch up to Marvel, and that kind of fell on its face, and now they figured out, all right, we need to go slower and just do solo movies and build them up. So they figured that part out, but they're still caving to Marvel, and it's like they're not differentiating themselves. Like when I saw Aquaman trailer, I'm like, this is just Thor and Loki in water with an Avengers-sized plot. I've seen that before, and it's like less endearing. It's less interesting. And I know it's like it's kind of like the Throne of Atlantis story, but when you've already done the animated movie and you've seen Avengers and you're catching up with Avengers, it's just like whatever. And you have no heart. Like, to me, it has no heart. They're not saying anything. Like, I go to see movies, even spectacle. Like, I want them to be trying to say something about humanity or a character, and I just didn't get that. I just got like, this is 2.5 hours of like crazy Atlantean, slog fest, and it's like, yeah, it's cool for a lot of people, but not for me.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you, DC have a cheat code. If they just focus on Superman and Batman, because those 2 characters are even more iconic than Avengers. So if they just could focus on those characters, they could be on the same level as Marvel, in my opinion.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But they're not paying attention though to like what. So like you said, the Nolan movies were the best ones. Well, then why don't we have a Batman that's closer to that, and then give him a costume that's a little bit closer to the comics, and you have your perfect blend right there. Yeah. And then and actually do his villains the proper way, because he has some really great ones. Like, what if we see a Man-Bat or Clayface in a movie? You tell me that wouldn't make $1 billion?
No, I want a good Mr. Freeze. Like, Arnold's fun and he's quotable, but I want a good sympathetic Mr. Freeze.
Yeah,
Batman has the best villains known to man in any comic book character.
Absolutely. But the thing is, like, put more detective into it. Because they focus too much on other things, like to be like the greatest fighter or whatever. You don't need that. Really, I mean, a hero needs to be brought down, and then you want to see him rise up again. That's kind of what works in most superhero movies, like Spider-Man too. Spider-Man, he's always getting his ass kicked, and then in the end of the day, he steps up. He does what he has to do.
Yeah.
And they're losing that. It's just they're going like ultra super strong, invincible, godlike, and then they have their weird things. Like Man of Steel, I enjoyed it, but at the same time, like the end of the movie, I think they lost a lot of people because it went too big. It went too WWE.
Not just that, but as much as I like this, you can't sell people on Superman as the good guy when you do this. Like, this is how you do. I don't know. Like, it works if you're focused on Batman as the core of this whole story. Then the way they did Man of Steel with like the kind of like the fear that's relevant of him, with like the Dark Knight Returns, that's a good spin. But when you're like pairing them together to like be the two leads going forward for the series, and it's like Superman's scary, and then everyone hates him even though he's doing all this good stuff. Then he gets killed, and then everyone misses him for some reason the next movie, and then they can't last one movie's plot without having to bring him back to win the whole freaking thing.
Yeah, man, that sucked. Because
That
Like,
was
what was the point of this?
the death of Superman could have been so epic, and they ruined it, man.
oh my god, yeah, because they rushed it all to put it in one movie. That was retarded.
Yeah.
Jesus, you
The
don't do
death of
that.
Superman could have been one of the biggest movies ever, man. And then
Yeah.
they rushed it.
Yeah, you gotta build them up. Not it's the second time you see him on screen, and then okay, we'll kill him in the end. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, like something really quick in the chat was funny. I'm not creative 22 says it could just be me, but I think Marvel has more problems than DC Comics. I'll give you two guesses, but you'll need only one. Cough. Brie Larson. Cough. That woman is just off the rail. She's like the crazy, I need to speak to the manager lady
Yeah,
that's also single and got all this pent up sexual rage because she's a crazy cat lady.
yeah. I was about to say that cat lady.
It's God, it's so crazy. And
Like I
she's
said, well, the real Captain Marvel, I think, is Shazam. If you want to have a good time, that movie has heart. That's the one thing it definitely has is heart.
I didn't put it out fast enough. But there's a video I still want to make. I think I got plenty of time to do it without having to worry about a release to tie it to. But I really think DC is going to go soy. They're just playing their cards because like all these people, some of these projects they're working on, some people are trying to cast or storylines that they've hinted at the way they're going to go. It's going to go soy. It's going to go SJW. They're just trying to get everyone in the seats. They're just trying to win everyone back post Snyderverse that didn't work. And once it does, then they're going to start pushing more developed plots, but it's going to be shit we don't like in a different way, right? A lot of people didn't like the dark stuff. You're not going to like this because it's like you're a white male, you're straight. It's going to be something like that, even if it might be a little subtle at first.
I think right now that's the thing is they're trying to go from dark to light. So that's their big hurdle. If they go soy, it might be on Wonder Woman 2 just for the fact of the female director and who she chose as the villain. But
Cheetah.
I don't think they're going full SJW on DC yet. I think Marvel's going to be jumping on faster than you think. So I think Spider-Man will be the last good movie we get. Because on top of it, too, Sony gets the rights back to Spider-Man after this. So I don't know if they're going to cut a deal again. I think with as much money as Venom made, they could see that and all the spin-offs that they're doing with the Spider-Man stuff now, Morbius, Black Cat.
Exactly. Yeah. And you got to think, too, going forward. Like,
I did a video on that.
You're gonna have the hardcore fans that are like, I'm seeing everything Marvel Avengers or whatever, the series. And they're not going to reset with Endgame like we were thinking, given like they already got Spider-Man, they got Black Panther 2, they got Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Like the story has to keep going at least one more phase before they can try to reset it the way they've set everything up. But yeah, with Spider-Man, like I said, there's like not only do you have like a fresh series, you got pretty identifiable characters without Spider-Man in the live action so far, and it's already made money. It's already made Wonder Woman or Spider-Man Homecoming money with Venom by himself, with no Spider-Man origin like he's supposed to have, and it's for the most part everything's supposed to be contained in New York with Spider-Man. So it's like the plot should never get too big that they can't contain it,
Right.
Yeah. And you don't have to worry about, there's the Avengers, so why can't or why is Spider-Man doing this? It's too big for him. Get the Avengers. Like, you don't have to worry about any of that because you've cordoned all of that off. So it's just Sony is like the one last hope, I think.
Yeah.
For right now with comic book movies, just in the sense of like keeping something fresh and not like getting too big and too stagnant.
Well, they proved it with Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh my god, great movie,
dude! It was fantastic. But they proved that they could nail everything that they have to about Spider-Man. So that's why they spread out to so many different characters and they showed all these new characters. But it worked. It made sense to the story. That's the one thing that the SJWs don't seem to understand is how to put a natural take into having these characters. And the same thing with the comics themselves. If you do it naturally, it works. If you do it just to force it, fans are going to see it and they're going to say, no, thank you.
Absolutely.
You know?
Hey, Pan, I was going to ask you, who's your favorite like comic character?
Spider-Man, easily. Spider-Man.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Mine is Batman, y'all.
comic skate.
Well, that'd be Cyberfrog, and Cyberfrog
Clearly.
right up there, probably a close second. Super to Spider-Man. Hail.
Have you read the old Cyberfrog from the 90s?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
No,
I
I'd love
almost
to.
bid on a set, and like the last couple hours it just blew up, but like no one was looking at it, and then all of a sudden it blew up, and I was like, shit, I'm glad I didn't waste my time.
Yeah, Caesar fans, they are sneaky. They will get that last minute. They'll just bid
What
it
was
up.
Cyberfrog under? Was that Image Comics or what comic book label was that under?
I think I'm not sure, but I think it was it wasn't one of the
Because I
big
felt like
ones.
I read that when I was younger.
Yeah, there was the original run of Cyberfrog, but I as one of Caesar's biggest fans as I would consider myself, I should know that.
Hey, is the war campaign? So okay, here's the question I want to ask the war campaign. That I was thinking of, like, are you talking about? I hear Roach about like, oh, thanks for donating to the war chest. All right, so is there an actual like plan? You don't have to give away, but is there like a plan with like the proceeds you're getting from like the channel and like the vestige, the profits? Is there a plan of
no plan, but the super chats, they do pay the artists. Like, we talked about that. The super chats are gonna go pay war campaign expenses, like paying Donald, our artists, stuff like that,
Okay.
So, but there's no real financial plan other than to not just go totally broke and look like idiots.
Okay.
But
I was wondering if you're going to make like an Ethan and Skyver like Smithsonian or something,
That's a great idea, actually. Yeah.
You could have a great Caesar statue, like him in like battle regalia with like the wreath on his head and like a hand up with a sword or something, and like, or no, you could do like Clash the Titans. You could do like Clash the Titans and have, instead of the Medusa head, have like Renfim as the head, or Gel Simone. He's conquered the Kraken with an SJW head, and
I think in New Jersey we're definitely gonna have to like build a monument to Caesar one day. I don't know. Maybe he can find a place that's near and dear to his heart, and then we go to the city there and be like, we're building a Caesar statue.
But this is what blew my mind, though. Did he really raise $500,000 for Cyberfrog?
He raised over $500,000. He's at 800,000 right now, just over.
That's mind blowing, man.
Yeah,
that's mind blowing.
All three campaigns put together, yeah.
Yep.
That's what he hit.
Yep.
And I think some of the crowdfunding has been kind of accidental because he didn't realize how long it was going to take him. I think that has helped him, the delay.
Well,
but
one
also
of the things that happened is like you have your stretch goals. So he reached his stretch goals, and it ended up being like a much larger book. One of the stretch goals was to have more pages added. Hit that stretch goal easily. So then it's a much larger book than you originally planned for. That's going to add time. Just the detail, the amount of YouTube work that he does, it's not like he's sitting there, drawing all day. This guy's doing a whole bunch of other stuff, YouTube videos, researching, going
he puts a lot of
Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, even with like Ichibaka making very concise articles, like he still has to research it, compile it and stuff himself for like his videos. Like, me doing videos is like, I understand like, whatever Ichibaki makes on an article, if that's like his main source of like contained understanding of a topic, he's still doing his own research and additional informants, I would assume, given his clout. The bigger you get, the more chance you have for people to like tip you off, like, hey, you should cover this, so I'm definitely aware of all that he puts into his YouTube, just being on the side of it.
But you know what? He's still laughing all the way to the bank because Cyberfall shouldn't even take what, $10,000 to make.
Oh man, yeah. Well, Caesar, he's living in the lap of luxury now. It's Caesar. He's got gold and riches, fine wines, and people stomping grapes to make him more wine. He's got it all.
That's amazing, man.
Hey, so Pam, given the actual history of like Julius Caesar, where would you plot Ethan right now in that like timeline? Is he like in Gaul, or is he like is this pre-Gaul? Has he even done any of this?
He's like the Octavius Caesar, like the most loved, bringing peace. Augustus Octavius. I would say he's Augustus Octavius.
Who would be Brutus? Brie Lawson?
Oh well, we've had plenty of Brutuses. I won't name them. They know who they are. We know who they are.
Hey, what's up, Thug Life? That K in the chat. It's Thug Life, Jeremy.
Thug Life, Jeremy.
Hey, K, did you drop the title of Thug Life? Are you like done with the JR Army, or are you just doing your own thing now? So let us know in the chat. I'm trying to think what else is up. I haven't had a chance to watch, but my buddy Lethal Lightning, I saw him and a couple others have covered. James Bond is getting, I guess, the script touched up by L337 to be Me Too friendly. Have y'all heard anything about this?
I saw
Yeah,
that.
man, that sucks, man.
No,
James Bond used to slap bitches, man.
We definitely got it. Okay, I got something to add after whatever we talk about James Bond.
So yeah, how are you gonna SJWify James Bond? I mean, that's just. Can that happen? I mean,
some people, I guess they feel that in like I think it's Skyfall, he hints at he's because Javier Bardem, the villain is kind of teasing him like, "Oh, I'm going to enjoy you" or something. He's like opening his shirt a little bit more to see his chest, and he's like, "Who's to say I haven't done this before?" And he's like hinting like, "Oh yeah, I've done it." It's like people got freaked out by it, and I'm like, not just because I'm bi, but I'm also thinking that would make sense. James Bond's a man whore, and you got to think if he's like if he's ex like British Special Forces or whatever, he probably, given his libido, he's probably made do with non-effeminate back holes.
Yeah,
I'll just leave it at that.
It makes sense. I mean, he's always known as like a ladies' man, but at his core, he is a sexual being. And who's to say that he wouldn't be experimenting?
Yeah, no. So that never bothered me. It made sense, and it was clever too. And at least I took it as he was like, even if he was totally off-put by homosexuality and any of this, I took it as him being so cool he's blowing it off. It's like, whatever, dude. Like you think I haven't tried anything.
Yeah. Well, spies and assassins normally in film and in books, they are whores.
Yeah. Or just the fact that spies are like career liars, so it's like, oh, you're gonna it's like in the first one, Casino Royale, it's like, oh yeah, scratch my nut a little to the left, it's like he's getting his nut smashed by like a cord,
That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, so it's like they're always gonna play it off. I was like, that's their job. They're trying to like live through this mission, with the information they have,
Well, here's my question: that character, when she was in Solo, did she write her part or did she just play her part? Because I think she's doing that show Killing Eve, and I've seen a couple of episodes, and it's actually, the writing is tight on it. So that's why I was kind of curious about that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about. I think her last name is like Waller or something. But she played a very convincing SJW droid. So that's all I know about her. It's like,
that thing was ridiculous.
I don't want to see her if she can do that really well. It's like I don't care to really follow her acting career.
No, if she could write well, she could write well. But again, I don't know if she wrote her part or she just acted it. Because
I think she just acted it. I don't know if you saw, there was this guy who made a kind of tongue-in-cheek speculative piece that he's like, what if L3 was this big meta joke on SJWs by Lord Miller or Ron Howard? But KK thought this was compelling. It's like, yes, this is great, and they don't even get the joke is on them,
I laughed so hard when she died in that movie.
I called it. I called it in the theater next to my friend. I said within 2 minutes of seeing her, I said I can't wait till she dies in this movie.
Dude, I was in a theater where it was like my wife, she just, she likes Star Wars, but there's nothing like in depth that she like really cares about Star Wars. It's just like a family tradition for her.
Yeah.
So she usually eats up whatever. Like she's like, Last Jedi was fine. I'm just like, don't fucking talk to me. Like and, we saw L3 and like I'm in the theater with probably like 20 people. This is like the first or second week. There's only like 20 people on a busy day. And we're watching this. I'm just waiting for this fucking L3 to die, and then she gets shot, and I'm just like, yes, but like everyone else is just either taking it in or like concerned, and I'm just like,
That was me.
I can't be that one guy. It's just I'm like, yeah, and everyone just looks back at like, because like when Han Solo got killed, I'm a Darksider, and it was kind of an obvious setup to the imagery in the film, but when Han Solo got killed, I was like inside, I'm like, yeah, fuck you, rebels, because I'm all about the darks, I'm all about the Sith, and I love like the way they built up Kylo up to that point. Killing his father and his like conflict. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking dark. It's cool. And like the second time I went that Friday night opening day, I was sitting by a fat chick and she just started bawling when Han Solo died. And I'm just like laughing inside. At her
You are
pain.
pure evil. Pure evil.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's what doesn't make sense that if this was like a legitimate, if it wasn't a big inside joke on like SJWs and it was like a legitimate creation, it makes no sense when you watch Return of the Jedi and they're torturing droids, and like 3PO is like a slave and so is R2, and just like the state of droids in the galaxy, they clearly have some sort of sentience because like they're burning. Think about it, they're burning a droid's feet to like teach them a lesson or torture them. So it's like,
I thought
clearly
they
feel they're more than just like a power tool, but they're still viewed as like their sentience is still subpar to humans or living, breathing creatures. So I always thought that was weird.
Yeah,
and interesting. I thought it added a lot of layers that no one talks about with Star Wars.
Right. And then in Solo, it felt like completely out of place because like whatever the time period is supposed to be, that character is more our time period. You know what I mean? So it throws it all off because like even the actors didn't seem to understand how to respond to her. Really, yeah. I mean, if you really look at it, it made no sense. It made zero sense to the rest of the film. If you erase her from the movie entirely, it's a watchable film.
Not to me. That was a horrible movie.
Started it slow.
It was just lackluster. Like it wasn't even about whether this is like a SJW Disney creation of Star Wars or any of that. It was just it had no spirit, it had no heart. You could tell like something's just off with this. It didn't feel. It's like they're really trying to sell you on like I'm a driver. I do this.
Well,
like,
they were trying to save what was previously filmed, and then they realized that they had to almost reshoot the entire movie. So that's why. So you're having completely different visions trying to be mixed together.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that are cool. Like people, because I've watched Rebels, I've watched Clone Wars, so I got Maul is my favorite character in Star Wars. I have like 30. I have 30 different Darth Mauls in my house, dude. So.
Dude, I kind of became friends with Ray Park as well at a couple of conventions I went to. Yeah, he's super cool.
Dude, okay, funny thing, all right, so when I did Saint Germain, it's my Jeremy parody, I was at the state in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what I'm making next. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with YouTube right now. And I watched Drunk 3PO's video late one night, and he was doing his breaking news when he first started, and he was covering Ray Park's phone getting hacked on Instagram, someone posting pictures of people on toilets.
Oh my God.
And I joked, I'm like, it was Mike Zero. And then it was like, oh my God, I have an idea. And I kept like hitting him up on the console, like, dude, give me a like if I can edit your video. And I almost just went with it and waited for the consequence later. But he gave me a thumbs up. I'm like, yeah, do whatever, dude. And so I made a video called Mike Zero Arrested. And the kind of the big joke of it is I made fake news on a fake news creator.
I like it.
Oh my God.
So yeah, if you know Mike Zero, if you follow Star Wars news and you haven't seen it, check it out. There's a part 2, and I'm working on a part 3. I'm making the Mike Zero universe. So I'm already getting little snippets of ideas for part 4, but yeah, still got to make part 3. So it's fun shit.
Is Mike Zero still doing videos?
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't watched him for a long time.
I tagged him initially because I was trying to actually get him involved with like the joke on himself, so it'd just sell more for him and for me.
Right.
But he never responds to anyone on Twitter or on his YouTube. He's a jacket. He's just for clicks, you know.
Yeah. Where does he get his information? I mean, is this like, you know,
Probably
aliens
Reddit.
delivering? I mean, aliens delivering it? You know, just beaming it down? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. No, dude's funny, and yeah, the second one was great because that's when I first started like collaborating and doing my own direction of stuff. Because Rookie Critic, he's been doing this for a while, and like it was weird, kind of like, dude, like I never thought I'd be making videos like you do. You know, it's like something my style. You know.
Well, that's the weird thing about YouTube is like you never envision yourself doing it, and then it just happens, and you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I'm here.
Oh, okay. So this was something I want to ask you, and everyone else can get some insight as well if they want to better elaborate. But how did the war campaign start? Like, what teased this out? Was it you or was it Ro, or were y'all already friends together?
No, I'll give you the story. So, basically, after episode 8, you know, I wondered, you know, why does Star Wars suck so much? What happened? So, you know, I go to the internet for answers, and I come across, at that time, Ethan Van Sciver, now we call him Caesar. I come across his channel, and, you know, I start learning about so much about SJWs, about what's going on with Star Wars. Become a huge fan. I troll in his chat, you know, hardcore, and there's always great trolls in Caesar's chat, you know, just hammering away on the keyboard, just loving life, like, you know. So Rokabir, he was unmistakable. Like Caesar would always read his chats. He'd be like, "Oh, Rokabir," you know, all caps, you know. So it was funny, and we just kind of came together on Twitter, me, Gat Hanzo, and Rokabir, and we said, "Hey, you know, like EVS is awesome. What are we gonna do?" You know, so we start trolling together. Caesar basically knights Rokabir, says, "Hey, you know, Ro, I want you to, you know, come on my show and talk." And so Ro gets his following, and he says, "Okay, I'm bringing you and Gat into this. You know, we've been trolling together, talking shit online, and we bring in our buddy Tyler, and you have War Campaign right there." We started off as like a Ethan Van Sciver fan club, basically. And now
Yeah,
we're this
what was
whole
the
thing.
transition to the Centurions you are now?
Well, you know, people liked the YouTube show that we're doing, so we said, "Hey, we're just the same as you. We are of the chat. I mean, we are from Ethan Van Sciver's chat. We're just trolls in the chat, just hammering on the keyboard, trying to be funny, you know." And people identified with that, and you know, we welcome everybody that is a Caesar fan, you know.
Yeah,
That's it.
no, it's
We're
really
just
fun
regular.
community.
We're just regular dudes that we're basically an Ethan Van Sciver fan club that is taking on this this whole persona, you know, and it's a lot of fun.
You know, it's funny because when I know we had us collectively, we had that whole like double smear where it's like for no reason, since you know the only association the fan collective ever had with War Campaign was just being friends with a couple people that were friends with y'all's. You know, where it's like friends of friends with like I think DJD and Nerdat. And so it's just out of the blue that this guy that been following us for months and knows us and knows what we do, knows I have kids, you know, so that's why I try to maintain anonymity with Black Angus as much as possible. That they like say like, "Oh, y'all are just y'all are friends with doxers," and it's like with all the scrutiny Caesar gets, do you think he would knight and let be mods on his channel doxers? Do you not think that he would know more than what everyone else on Twitter knows if this was true? You know, so that's where I always sat with y'all. It's like this just doesn't make sense from Ethan and Skyver's position to associate with y'all if you're really this bad.
Well, the reason why, you know, he made us mods is because we're super loyal to the core, and we have his best interests at heart. We recognize his problem with people backstabbing him and basically taking advantage of him, and we started as a fan club and we morphed into like, I don't know, people want to say that we're like shock troopers or like a protection agency. Well, we kind of are, you know. We watch his back, and if you mess with Caesar, you got to deal with War Campaign. And that's
whatever happened to that guy? I think his name was Zach. he used to be with Ethan a lot. I think
Oh,
Ethan
Meyer?
did his comic book.
Richard
Oh
Meyer?
yeah, no, Zach, man, he started this. He started the Comics Gate. Like Zach is
Yeah.
the patron saint.
I was
No,
watching
he's
his
still around.
videos before Ethan.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He got a lot of, like, I think Ro Kabir and Gat, they were before they were Caesar fans. They were fans of Zach. So
Yeah, because I
Zach
know
brought
it
a
was a
lot
big
of people
thing.
in.
It was a big thing behind the comic book he came out with, Jawbreakers, wasn't it?
Jawbreakers.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well,
And I think
Absolutely.
he's
he
being
made-
more quiet because of the lawsuit. That's why. I mean, he's still
Yeah.
making his videos.
He's just
Well,
waiting
yeah.
for the money from Wade.
Yeah,
Well,
you got to
Wade.
put Wade down because
He
Wade's
took
a
himself
monster.
off Twitter. Like, the thing about Zach is, like, he like, EVS, started this gangster shit. Zach, and EVS will tell you, hail Caesar. Caesar will tell you this, that Zach started this.
Yeah, because Zach's I remember he used to get on the comic book artists all the time and talk about them with the SJW agendas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach's thing was, he basically, him and Captain Cummings were some of the first guys that started recognizing that SJWs were infiltrating Marvel and, carrying out this master plan to basically be a bunch of douchebags and fuck up comic books, So
But what I
Well,
noticed about Zach, he don't, he's like solo with it, because I don't never see him with Ethan. I don't never see him with Geeks and Gamers. So I always wonder what was his deal.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't like the
he
spotlight as much.
he goes on Caesar's show a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. He's kind of shy like that. Like Zach's kind of shy. We call him your boy Zach. He's kind of shy. But he does appear with Caesar on Comicsgate Live from time to time. Lately he's been hanging out with Caesar, and I do believe that Zach is re-releasing Jawbreakers. I think he might have actually re-released it today, if I heard correct info.
Yeah, because that Jawbreakers
he's
raised like
the
$1 million
original.
too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and we have mad respect for Zach. Like, we don't hail him like we hail Caesar, but
But I mean, that's just so mind blowing to me that Zach and Ethan both raised so much money for a comic book.
It's amazing, and it's because the people believed in what they were doing. It's a movement, it's a rejection of what the SJWs are trying to do at Marvel, and now in the whole pop culture, so.
Right. Yeah, because if you want to take it back further, like before the SJW nonsense, it starts with weasels. It starts with these snakes in the grass. Because I said it last time I was on with Black Angus, because I've been in the business for a long time as well, and people like Joe Quesada, these creeps, they're screwing over so many people. Guys trying to get in, like me. I almost got a Spider-Man job. He screwed me out of it. He traced over my artwork to put in one of his books.
Wow.
And he got my samples from Joe Kubert, one of the all-time greats, the guy who has the school in New Jersey. It's
he sound like John Lightfield.
Oh, the guy's horrible.
Yeah,
but
man, F Joe Quesada. We call him Joe Quesadilla or Thirsty Joe.
Yeah, he's a creep, but he's been doing he's been doing this stuff for the longest time. He backstabbed his friend to get the job of editor-in-chief back in the day. He's done so many nasty things, and people don't seem to understand it or know it. But it's guys like that who are able to infiltrate, and get good positions. Then they open the floodgates for more douchebags like that and their friends.
Exactly.
Because I heard Greg Land do that too.
Oh, I don't know much about
That's how it works with SJWs.
Not to be name dropping.
That's one of the first things I learned from Caesar is it only takes one SJW. Once they infiltrate, they're going to let them all in. That's how it works, man.
Yeah, once they get a position of power, yeah. We can get back on this, but to steer back really quick, because I was interested, because really I'm not a James Bond fan. I'm a Daniel Craig Bond fan, because I've watched like the original Connery. I'm like, it's okay. I've tried to watch Pierce Brosnan. Like everyone's like GoldenEye, and I'm just like, this bored the fuck out of me.
I thought he was too thin to be that character.
No, he definitely is like a spy. He's he's suave. And he's
Yeah.
got the
He's got-
charm. He's just
he's got
they don't
that-
buy him his Bond.
Exactly. I don't believe he could take a punch.
But yeah, this will seem unconnected, all right? But have y'all seen the new Shaft trailer with Sam Jackson?
Oh, what? They're doing
No, I
another
didn't.
Shaft,
Yeah, I
man. I
seen
like
it.
the original with Richard Roundtree, right?
Yeah, I've never.
But you know what? This one could have been good if they would have kept that little dude out, his son.
It's like 3 generations of Shafts.
Yeah, the
Oh,
original
yeah.
Shaft and Samuel Jackson. If they would have just kept those two, it would have been perfect. But I don't know who this new little guy is.
Yeah,
Oh my
but there's a scene in this trailer. As soon as I saw it, I was like, they are fucked either way this develops. This ties in with the Me Too shit, okay? Because there's a scene where it's like Jackson and like Kid Shaft, and they're dealing with some chick, and I think they have him at gunpoint ever, but then it's like, no, I'm gonna hit a lady. Then she like kicks his ass, and it's like you gotta hit her back. And I think he does, or they hint that he's gonna hit her back, and it's like, oh shit, this is going to not go well. And this will be weird because like as much as the SJW supposedly care about minorities, they're going to use the statistics or whatever and be like, oh, the violence in the black community from black men is so bad. This is going to blow up as soon as it comes out. Whichever way this movie goes,
It's
either
an attack against men, man.
Either the man just lets her kick his ass, and then you got like a Johnny Depp situation in this movie, and they'll be like, "Oh, look, the director's white, and they're emasculating black men, just like slavery, or whatever." They'll extrapolate,
Yeah.
or it's, "Oh, look at this man is battering a woman," despite the scenario of the story. Like,
Oh my god.
this is a
But you
no
know,
win.
I don't know what they are accomplishing with this Get Woke movement because all it's doing is distancing men from women.
Yep.
Yeah, men care less about women post Me Too than they did 2 years
They
ago.
do.
Well,
They
think about
do.
this. This is what's weird to me is you have whole movements about men rejecting women and not having sex with women. What the heck is that all about? This is the first time in the history of existence that men were not looking to,
Yeah,
sex
it's
with
weird.
women.
It's weird because it's not
It's
even like
bizarre.
It's not even a religious calling. It makes sense with like Buddhist monks, Catholic monks, priests, whatever.
Right.
Religious calling is like, okay, this is like a reason.
It's
This is
different.
a calling. This is a sacrifice. You're sacrificing the pleasure.
Yeah, it's spiritual. This
body.
is like social. This is more social. It's a
Yeah,
weird thing.
I never really thought about this angle. But yeah, it's so weird, and we're having the lowest birth rate since the '70s, which feminism was a problem in the '70s for society to function normally.
Right.
I've talked
Guys,
to John
taking
Cox.
a headache, man.
Yeah, I've talked about this with John Talks. It's like, yeah, I know that she always will cry. The bigger my channel can get, the more they'll see shit like this and be like, "Ree!" But it's like, biology does not favor women having careers. If you want a career as a woman, you're probably going to sacrifice, if not your reproductivity, you're going to sacrifice your bonding with your child because you're going to, supporting
absolutely.
the nanny state of like, here's the sitter, I'm off to do my career, or
Yeah.
weird, non-traditional, where it's like Mr. Mom at home while mommy is a
That's
lawyer.
a really good point. Now we're seeing what the effects are of not bonding with your child. This generation. These millennials. I think we're seeing
Well,
that. And
I think that the phones and all that crap is what really pushed that and started it, the separation. Because then these kids, they're brainwashed by the phones and then whatever they find on it. And since like the tech guys or all the Silicon Valley people, what are they pushing? They're pushing those views, to
Absolutely.
hate and I mean, you know how it goes.
man,
That's a cycle of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
absolutely.
funny, Pan, I don't know if you've ever heard this, and this will be something for Jay as well, since you're black and stuff. I'd say Pan's be interesting. 'Cause I don't know if you've brought this up, and this will be probably something new. I remember there's an article, I'll find it, and the channel Helping Hand was covering. And there's this like famous kind of shrimpy, effeminate black guy on YouTube or Facebook videos or whatnot that will like cover like social stuff and preach to you essentially. And he was covering this thing about how like this article said that black men are the white people of black people.
What?
How does that work?
So okay, here's the idea, all right? Because and this is how the left eats itself, because they indict this problem and then they don't realize this is the problem they caused. All right, so I'll tie this all in. So essentially, because the black community has such a disproportionate amount of like bastard children and broken homes and stuff, good family men, whether that's matrimonious or not, whether it's based in marriage, good stay-at-home dads, not stay-at-home, but like foundational for the family dads and men, they're so sought after. They're a unicorn in this specific society, in the black community, that women are overtly subservient to win the man. Okay, and this kind of ties in with Christianity being a big part of the black community too, and stuff with like Protestantism and whatnot. So it's multifaceted, but essentially it's like it's hard to find a good man in the black community. So they really go hard to try to get a stable guy and just to bait him to stay in this relationship or to make it. All right. And so because of that, it gives the black man a disproportionate amount of power in these relationships. Okay. And so this is a big problem. So he gets to be the white person of the black community. So it's like, see, they're just dividing black people off of gender now. It's like, it always eats itself. It's like, black people start doing good, and then it's like, okay.
I'm going to tell you what's crazy. I kind of understood what you was talking about. That's the crazy thing about it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, as a black man, no, just kidding. I'm not black. Yeah, yeah, man. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I love finding articles like this where it's like, wait. So that's why I said it so slowly, because it's like, did I hear that right?
The black man is like, or the good black man is like the white man. I just don't get it.
Yeah,
that's weird. That's weird, but I kind of understood. It was weird though.
It's like, it's all about
weird myself though.
It's all about minority rights and this and that, and they always got to find, the whole Democrat platform has become socialist, and it's all about oppressor oppressee. It's all just core Marxism, and it's funny because they're all about trying to equate stuff, but then it ends up making people that have way more advantage over their peers and becoming more of an oppressor than they were to start. Like,
but
it never works.
I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist, and I always look on the news and see they always want a certain group to be divided with another group. So I always look at that and see, why is they trying to keep us so divided?
So they can control.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah,
that's
really
all it's about. Yeah.
Yeah, like what do you get? Because, just think about 10 years ago and earlier, it's like, especially the 90s up to, I would say, 2010, there's this period of like, things are pretty good. You had the Iraq war start post 9/11, gas prices rise, stuff, but everyone's kind of had, everyone's pretty good to each other. And then the war start ending, the kind of the back half of Obama's reign and stuff, if you will, and everything starts getting weird, And right now we're going through this growing pain of kind of trying to adjust to it and seeing how much we'll adopt of his era and how much we'll adopt of Trump going forward. And so we're just in this weird phase. It'll level out at some point, but it's like, how much left or right will it settle? That's kind of where we're at.
It's because people are gonna get sick of this shit. I call it the pussification of America. They want everyone to be at odds with one another. So what's the best way of doing it? Creating these weird fights over nothing, this SJW crap, all that nonsense. I mean, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. I mean, listening to George Carlin. I grew up in New York, friends with everybody, and they're trying to say that, everyone's still fighting with one another, these groups. First to try the blacks and the whites. That ain't working. So now we're doing the gays and everybody else. I mean, God, come on. It's all ridiculous.
George Carlin, and when you watch his comedy acts, it's like the universe is being explained to you.
Exactly.
Dude, I love him and Patton Oswalt's explanation of like religion. They're very different takes, but they're so great, given they're both atheist or atheistic. Right. And if you don't buy into that, the way they present it, where it's like, yeah, this is definitely an indictment on a lot of religions, even if you think yours is the right one or something. It's like, Panazzo has a little cake idea, and then Carlin has this idea of the sun. And it's like, all right, just something simple. Just need the sun to come up every day, and thank you for helping sustain life. And it's like cool, but it's like, well, the sun gives you cancer too, so it's like, oh, you're at odds,
Yeah.
And just what he talked about, like the government makes you a pussy when they take over and all this stuff, and TV, and God, he's just had such a great insight in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I love
too. Yeah,
that's why I love Bill Maher too.
Yeah, that guy I can't get my my brain around him. He's strange because he's a hypocrite. He plays up to Hollywood.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. But I appreciate him because he has dialogue with people like Shapiro and Coulter and stuff. He has dialogue with people against him,
right?
As opposed to SJWs. Well, they hit at you and then they run and hide. He will have it out even if you disagree. And his comedy, he's got really good sarcastic, Northeast comedy, and I love that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you got to get back to that kind of stuff where everyone can kind of understand one another and there's a dialogue.
Ketracel. Sorry, Ketracel, I guess he's from the war campaign. He came over. He said, Caesar is the only religion.
Oh. Hail Caesar. Hail Ketracel.
That
was a great one. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. That's the one thing that's kind of, it's crazy to me. I mean, I understand like when he fights with them, people like that drama. That's why he gets his subs are shooting up and all that kind of stuff. But I can't deal with those type of people. Like when they do start to jump in, if they just bother me out of the blue, or if I make a comment on someone else's thing, and I approach everything with logic. If they try to attack me for that or just to be nasty, I'll shut them down and then I block them and I never have to hear or see them again.
You're an artist, right? So you shouldn't have to deal with that crap, man. You should be able to do your art, not be affected by the SJWs. Right. And that's one of the things that like the war campaign does is like we kind of like take up for the artists that we like and try to keep the SJWs off them so that they can get their jobs done,
Yeah. I need a war campain.
Hail, brother. I followed you on Twitter, so
thanks, man.
Let's hang out.
Oh yeah. Hey, are you seeing the actual chat, Vinny?
On YouTube?
Yeah, if you could leave a comment, if you're on a computer, if you leave a comment, so people can click on you and sub to you. Yeah, because YouTube will definitely, I think, help boost your sales going forward, future campaigns. I know we've talked to you, got future stuff in the works. And yeah, I was looking, it's like I love your art. I think you're definitely going to go somewhere. I just think you need to find your angle of like, this is something I'm concerned with besides my art, what you're good at, and you're good at like kind of displaying it and stuff for people. And hey, let's draw this. So I got some of your stuff saved in my watch list of like, I want to sit down. I got a bunch of comics from the comic store, like the 50-cent sale and stuff. Where I'm like, this is great cover art. I want to try to get back to drawing. And so I'm definitely gonna sit down and watch your drawing female stuff. But yeah, dude, like the way you're talking with us, if you could just kind of mimic Caesar, but find your niche of like what you want to cover specifically, that'll really help you.
Yeah, because. Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm trying to learn too with this campaign. It's my first campaign. I didn't know too much about it, but like I was listening to Ethan every now and then. Like I found him during the summer, like most of his videos and stuff. So that's why I figured, let me try crowdfunding. A lot of people at conventions have been telling me that. So like I'm trying to get my feet wet, getting into it. Yeah. But like I already have a good, I have a good plan for product anyway. People. So I mean, like after Through the Woods is done, I want to release an art book so people get more familiar with my actual work. So like the stuff you see on DeviantArt and on Twitter that I've been posting. Like I want people to be able to actually have it in their hands as well, and they can see some of the stuff that I've done. Because it's been like a lot of cover work, but not for such great companies. But I did get a lot of media coverage, like doing like shitty political stuff, but I only did portraits of those people. So, but I got some exposure back then when they came out, but like I'm still trying to snowball it the right way. I guess.
Well, you have a good.
No, go on.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, Vinny, you have a good grasp of what the SJWs are doing, how they're messing things up, what they're trying to accomplish, and what we need to do to battle them. So, bro, get in the fight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. they've been poisoning the well for a while, but now for some reason people are listening to them because of Hollywood and that kind of shit. Like I said, they're annoying enough people where now they're like, okay, we don't need to hear that anymore. We don't need to see it anymore. And like the diehards are the ones that are still trying to keep the fight going. That's what I see anyway.
Absolutely.
Everything got gatekeepers, man.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Everything.
The only thing War
Mhm.
Campaign has is gatekeepers. From what I've seen,
Oh,
There's a lot of that
wow.
too.
Yeah,
There's a lot of that.
we're
the right amount of gay.
it's funny, like we started out as the Caesar fan club, and we turned into like this diverse culture unto itself, where our fans demand that we, our centurions demand that we act gay online, and of course we're gonna give our people what they want. So I don't know, we're kind of like this unique thing in Comicsgate, although I think there are a lot of gay people in Comicsgate. Our fans demand a certain type of gayness.
You know what? Eventually,
you'll
you'll become the Caesar Salad fan club. If
Oh man.
Well, we already are in that AO DJD show. He's like the Caesar Salad master. DJD.
Oh dang it! Okay. So if you see in the chat, Shellback TJC, aka Hallmark Channel Jeremy, he is of the Jarrett Army. I was going to tell you that I have a parody, a fanfic planned for Shellback someday. When I just find the time to set aside, I might need to read 50 Shades of Grey before I write this. So he's. If you don't know what a shellback is, it's a Navy identifier of you've crossed the equator. It's a ceremony they do and stuff in the Navy. It's a big thing, a rite of passage, if you will. And so the symbol's like a turtle because, sea turtle and Navy. And me being Army and being from Oklahoma and knowing some old Navy and Army vets, there's a lot of gay jokes on the Navy, especially after the Village People. Didn't help them at all. And so, we always have those jazz back and forth being Army and, I was going to say Sith, Army and Navy. Well, he has a big aversion to Shape of Water for some reason. And I love that movie. Mm-hmm. And so I have a fanfic erotica planned, a gay erotica that I want to do called Bareback Shellback. And it's going to be about Shellback falling in love unexpectedly with this merman. And I'm going to narrate it. It's going to be
Shape of Water, that movie with that woman falling in love with the monster.
You can cross over into many different territories with this, and gain many different types of diverse fans, and have a fantastic fan base.
Watch it become a series. Like, it's not just one. They want more. They need more of the interspecial gay. And it's like
they're gonna want a lot of sea slug.
You're gonna get some furries that are gonna like that. The furries are gonna love it.
Okay. So I don't really follow John Malin. I know you make fun of him, call him a furry. What exactly makes you a furry? Because I might be.
John Malin is a furry, but he's also like one of the originators of Comicsgate. He's the first guy to really walk away from Marvel and tell Marvel, we're not going to put up with your bullshit, So Malin is like the cornerstone. So much respect. We call him Coach Malin. We have so much respect for him. His grab an oar speech, I think it was on Comicsgate Live on Caesar's channel, like half a year ago or so, is legendary. Grab an oar. He basically said that if you want to be Comicsgate, you just can't come into Comicsgate and say you're Comicsgate. You actually have to do Comicsgate shit, create, get out, fight SJWs, reject, all the evils that Marvel and these SJWs are trying to, inflict. So he's a legend. But
so
he is
from your perception, from your perception, could which? Oh no, sorry.
The furry thing. Yeah, I know. I went off on a love speech for Malin, but he is a furry. He has this thing where, I don't know, he's created this thing where he wants to be like a werewolf, and how you become a werewolf is you let a werewolf take advantage of you. Let's just put it that way. Yeah.
What?
And he's advocated this whole thing, the you know, and we call it no wolf milk because you have to drink the wolf milk, and we're just not into that. It's you know, we love humans, not animals.
Yeah. I had chatted with him a couple of times, and I was on one of the auctions, and yeah, Caesar was gonna have me on, but I guess he got too busy, never had me on. But they talked about it because he goes, "It's okay. Is it okay if I make fun of you like we make fun of Mike and other people?" I said, "Yeah, whatever. You know, as long as you're pushing my book." And then John jumped in and goes, "What about wolf milk?" And then everyone else started laughing. I said, "What the fuck is wolf milk?" And they said, "Never mind."
Yeah, no, he doesn't want to explain it to you because it's a little gay.
So
But
the way,
you know, so we have this thing, you know, like he's the wolf master.
Oh my gosh.
does he like this, or does he just despise that y'all have taken this? And
No, he rolls with it, man. He's a good sport. Like that's the thing
Oh
about
yeah.
the true comic skaters is you will roll with the meme. Like that's kind of one of the things how we like gauge people. Like if you are what we would consider true comic skater or not. Exactly. If you can take it, you know, if you can take the meme, if you can roll with it, and he actually, you know, he brought this all on himself. I mean, he said it. You know, he said that he would take it in the back hole from a wolf. From a werewolf.
To get that power, though, I mean,
Werewolf.
it's definitely worth.
But would you take it in the back hole?
Whoa!
Oh,
you could be a werewolf. I mean, that's
that's a
reasonable question.
Would you drink wolf milk? I would not, brother.
Wait. Do you mean like man wolf milk?
I mean, you would have to ask Coach Balin what actual wolf milk is, but I think that I know what it is, and I would not take it in the mouth or in the back hole.
Well, it's funny talking about back hole because this will be kind of totally off topic initially, but I follow Bandit Incorporated because Ricky Critic turned me on to his channel, and he did a video the other day of I listened to on the way to Cleveland to watch the show. He was talking about how to beat the Night King and the White Walker army without magic. And his idea is like, all right, well, you got like 360 range with the dragon and the Night King on them, but underneath is kind of a weak spot. Now you can blow fire on you underneath them, but the weak spot is the butthole. And he's like, you know, I assume there's softer skin at the butthole as well. And so the way is like, all right, you need to take out the dragon first, so hit it in the butthole with a dragon glass arrow or like scorpion giant arrow, whatever, and then you can figure out with the Night King and whatnot. And then he was talking about like all the stuff of like essentially let them World War Z the wall, but do it in sections, so they have to fill up each section so they can like burn them in each section. Pretty smart. But I love the whole butthole idea. And it's like, this show cannot have so much death and destruction and sorrow to end on such a funny note.
It sounds like an episode of the LARPing. At War Campaign, we used to do a show called the LARPing, and I don't know how these guys got me into this because I was like a jock, you know. So these guys actually got me to do like this role-playing game and stuff. They're like, you know, they're like, "Come on, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun," and it was a hell of a lot of fun. So we did the LARPing, and and Ro is going to be so mad at me for telling this story because he's going to discipline me, probably send me to Panama. But anyway, he played this character called Jula, which was this war dwarf. He was, you know, masculine, and he got into a predicament, and Gat, who was Farndunkel, he was an archer. He shot a medicine arrow into Ro's back hole to save his life. And Ro protested it. This was live role playing. We did it on YouTube, and Ro protested the arrow being shot into his back hole. It was like probably his worst moment in YouTube history, you know. But it was so beautiful, you know. Back when we were LARPers.
Oh, he said that it was so beautiful.
It was.
What, the arrow going into his back hole?
Ro's reaction was beautiful because, you know, he's prideful. He plays a gay wad on
That's a word I haven't heard in a long time.
He has a lot of pride. Yes, A Gaylord, actually. He plays a Gaylord on YouTube, but he actually has a lot of pride. And getting LARPed on by Farnduncle was definitely his worst moment. It's fantastic.
Oh no, this is
Fantastic.
It's great. It's
Hail
great
Row.
hearing this stuff.
Hail
Yeah,
Row
he's
and Hail
hilarious.
LARPing.
I love when y'all had the Dusty Tortilla guys on there the other day because not only you had
Oh,
like the
yeah.
great nipple footage, which given my history stuff, I'll never dox my nipples. I will not go that far.
Wow.
Unfortunately. I can't.
I'll
I have a
tell
bad
Ro not
history.
to even ask you next
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
'cause Ro will ask you.
I have a bad history with the nipple related stuff.
Oh, dude. Well, I Ro would definitely pry into that, but I won't.
Oh no, yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't be a problem like really going into it. It's just I grew up a fat kid, so it's like yeah, and I'm fat again. So it's like yeah, I'm not
Well, you
doxing
already
my
told
nipple.
us about the ghost doggy, so I mean, how
The
much
ghost
more
doggy
could
isn't
you-
embarrassing to me. That's like a endearing moment as like a dumb kid first time having sex. You're like, man, you want sex this whole time, and then you think you're going in doggy style and it slips down, and you're like, man, sex sucks,
Well,
and then
that
it's
is
like,
a
oh, I'm not in.
legendary moment. It's a legendary moment in war campaign history to me. Thank you for that, and also to Dusty Tortilla's nipples. That was another legendary moment.
Yeah. This kind of brings me back to the beginning with Eric Butts because I saw y'all put that in there with Eric Butts footage.
Yes.
When I looked up Eric Butts the other day when we were talking about Wednesday, the first thing that came up was someone made him. They used his footage reacting to 9/11.
Ooh.
I was like, this is so fucked up, but that's a great meme to like to totally change the perspective of like someone just so happy,
Well, yeah, that's raw, baby. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, no, it's hardcore. It's hardcore memeage. I was going somewhere with the whole talking about the ghost sub and all this. But no, if y'all haven't, go sub to War Campaign. They are hilarious. They're a great time, especially if you love Ethan Van Sciver. You can follow a lot of the hardcore subculture of Caesar.
Yes, that's what it is. That's a great way to put it. Like, if you're an Ethan Van Sciver fan, like, hail War Campaign, come hang out with us on YouTube. Hail Caesar.
Oh, okay. I know I was going. The Dusty Tortillas was on that crew and stuff, and you're talking about like tortillas and cream pies and whatnot. And I was like, my back hole requires garnishment.
And this last stream got it straight.
Oh.
Hardcore.
Oh yeah. I go over. This is organic. I go wherever the panel takes me. Or what they inspire.
Exactly. That's the thing about YouTube is like you don't know what you're gonna get. It's anything that I
Box
can
of
think of it
chocolates.
Hey, by all means, bring the rawness. Go in raw.
I'm a big fan of like jazz music, and jazz music like back in its original form was all about improvisation and what you were gonna do in the moment, and that's kind of how YouTube is.
Yeah, that's me, man.
Dude, speaking of jazz, I'm not a big jazz fan, but I do like Miles Davis. I like him enough when I watched, I think, season 2 of Better Call Saul, when, spoiler for anyone, 3, 2, 1, when the crazy brother, starts using electricity again, he's playing Miles Davis. I'm like, oh, I know that song.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just enjoyed it.
Dope.
Just enjoyed it afterwards, But,
Don Cheadle have a Miles Davis movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but yeah, I'm aware he did a Miles Davis thing. But jazz. Okay,
man, Miles
great,
Davis is awesome.
A great movie you need to see, and I want to know if you've seen it. Is Whiplash?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's got
I saw one.
It's got J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller, the guy that played Mr. Fantastic from Fan Four Stick movie. He's playing a drummer, and his like whole goal is to be like the best drummer in jazz. And so he's very at odds with his family. He's very at odds with anyone really, and he's very much a dick. So he knows that like his aspirations tell him like I am the best or I'm going to be the best. And so he's very impersonable and stuff. But now he's like meeting his match psychologically with the teacher who he's got some ed history to say the least with students, not like sexual or anything, but like quote unquote abusive, crossing that line to push them. And it's really good. And especially, I think, really good with a weird venue of jazz music to like show someone being so intense and like, toxic masculinity, quote unquote. Now that this is a buzzword now in this day and age. Definitely go to the library and check this out if you can find it. I think it won multiple Oscars.
Yeah, he got the Oscar for it. Yeah, right. What's his name? J.K. Simmons.
I'm trying to think who directed it. The guy who did La La Land directed it.
Okay.
So this dude's blew up
What
in
was
just
the
a few movies. It's called Whiplash. It's called Whiplash. It's it's about jazz drumming and apparently Miles Teller was in a garage band, but it's like garage rock, whatever. And so he had about 6 weeks to learn how to play jazz drum. And you think, oh, it's just drumming, but it's like, holy fuck, it's like movie is so
good luck with
movie
that.
is so intense with the drumming because like the director had a history like this movie plot to some extent. So it's like it's very personal, and it's just the way they film it, and the way they capture it, and it's like the intensity. It's like God.
So the guy was a rock drummer, but just decided he was going to play jazz, but had never really studied jazz before.
No. For the main actor, Miles Teller, the guy playing the drummer, he had a history drumming in like normal rock band, and so he had 6 weeks to learn jazz drum.
He could do it.
Yeah, so it's great. It's a great movie of like someone really. You can tell they devoted themselves to the art in this film, and it's just a great experience. I love the kind of, but speaking of improv, there's this great scene where it's like, essentially he sets the drummer up for failure. And so he just like literally look like an ass during this ensemble, but then he like improvs and just takes over the fucking show with his drumming, and then they have to like build around him. And it's just like, this is cool, I think you can definitely build an appreciation of jazz, even if it's not your forte. But another scene that I know of that I like makes me kind of appreciate jazz is Collateral, that jazz club scene in the music.
Oh yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, it's Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx, Michael Mann directed.
That was the movie when Tom Cruise lost his shit during the whole movie.
Yeah, I think it was around the time he was dating Katie Holmes and the Oprah shit and stuff, right around that era.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're getting close to closing out. I don't want to interfere with Sith Kryptonian's stream. I haven't seen him advertise it, but he always goes on at 8:30, and I'm just going to assume he's going. Hello, Geek in Disguise. I did see you pop in there. Thank you all for being in the chat. I'm going to have everyone plug again. So, Fatal J, we'll start with you. Tell us about your channel, what to look forward to.
Oh man, if you like wacky craziness, insaneness, explosions, Chinese women coming out of my bathroom, then check out my channel.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
Do you have a Twitter, Fatal J?
Yes. My Twitter is Fatal J Show.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll follow.
Thank you, my friend.
Hail, brother. Yeah, and thank you, Black Angus, for having me on. Check out War Campaign. We're gonna do an all-day thing tomorrow to promote our new comic book. Check us out, War Campaign. Thank you, Black Angus.
Yeah, no problem. Do you know what time you're going to be starting tomorrow?
I don't. Just subscribe to War Campaign and
hit the
get
bell.
That notification, and it's gonna be an all-day thing. So just tune in, anytime. Awesome.
What is the initial goal?
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be over $5,000. I think we were gonna set it at the regular $5,000. We're talking about doing it lower. That's actually above my pay grade.
Okay.
I don't.
I was just curious.
I'm just one of the dudes. So
nice. And Vinny Art. Vinny Tartaballa of the Vinny Art channel. Tell us about you and your channel, what you might have planned, and of course your Indiegogo before we leave.
Yeah. Through the Woods. We got 31 hours left on this. I'm almost at $3,000. I think one more sale should do it. But guys, please support this project. It's my first campaign. I got a lot more stuff coming up. I'm going to do an art book after this, after everyone gets fulfilled. The project is complete, so everyone knows all backers will be fulfilled no matter what. So I just have to print, sign them, and mail them out. So it'll be art book next, and then I have 2 more comic book projects that are going to be following that campaign as well. And yeah, I'm going to set up something special too with the art books. So it might not just be one, it might be two. Yeah, so please check me out. Vinny Art is my handle on Twitter, on most social media, including Instagram. But I do also have DeviantArt, which is VinRock, and you can see like all this cool artwork here. So yeah, please check me out.
Yeah. Glad I meant to have more people on here, but we worked out fine with this. I usually have like 7 or 8 people normally pan, so that's why it's like, man, you know, it's weird having like 4 people total for a pre-Senate subcommittee. But yeah, great art by Vinny, and I can see him just go forward as well with new campaigns. And the more he gets following on YouTube, the more success I think he'll have just going forward. And I'm so excited to get his product from the get-go. If you want to support me, links are in the description. I have a Patreon. I have a merch store. You can get your Black Angus mug and shirts and whatnot. I do have the Bovine Beauty, which is the classic cowgirl with udder titties, if you will, whatever. I'm not sure what to call them exactly, but you get for the price of 2 nipples, you get 8. So that's the sell.
Wow.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, and if you don't, you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook and whatnot. And I got a whole bunch of other channels linked in the description. All my buddies that I've worked with, check them out. Thank you for coming. Come back if you want at 9:30. I'll have David Stewart on, barring a last-second cancellation for something coming up. So look forward to that. Probably go for 2 hours or more, I'm assuming. We'll have some good discussion and have some good questions ready for if there's ever dead air, which I don't think there will be. He's a good talker. I like hearing him, and I think I got stuff to talk to him about. So thank you all for coming again. I appreciate it. Detox water. Sorry about that, pop culture. I haven't had detox water. It's probably when my throat's sore, along with screaming, at the burlesque show. But yeah, go sub to Pan and to the War Campaign, Fatal J, Vinny Art. And go check out Empire Strips Back. Get ready for the next tour to come to America, or if you're in Australia or what have you, they're already in your country, so check them out. Request them to make a new tour. That's all I got for today. See you in an hour.
Peace out.
Thank you.
Peace.